Welcome to the second video of the challenge of recreating 6 different tactics in 6 videos managing only one team. As we have seen in the last video, the Roberto De Zerbi recreation tactic worked wonders for Brighton. His finding the free man through positional play concept fit very well in the game. But the second tactic recreation was more difficult. I had to use my whole FM knowledge to make it work. But if you know what attributes and traits are needed, it becomes easier. But what are those? I'm glad you asked. The goalkeeper, the defense and the midfield should have high rating for this attribute. Positioning helps the players be in the best possible place when taking defensive positions. In attack though, off the ball and flair are the ones you should search for. And of course, concentration should not be neglected. Since playing without the ball is tiresome, the players must focus for longer periods of time. As player traits, brings ball out of defense, mark opponent tightly for the defense, dictates tempo and tries killer balls often for the midfield and attacking players, and move into channels for the strikers. As tactic, I went with an unconventional shape. Since Helenio Herrera is considered to be the father of the Catenaccio, the defensive style of play used through the 60s to the 80s, I had to recreate it. However, his Grande Inter was made of world-class players like Armando Picchi, Giacinto Facchetti, Luis Suarez, Jair and many others. For Brighton, even though I have great players, their caliber is nowhere near the Grande Inter. As a shape, we have a sort of a 3-4-3 formation. The most important part of the tactic is this one. If you get it right, your team will be very hard to break down. Sweeper keeper on defend duty, as he doesn't need to sweep any loose balls often. 3 at the back, who must be extremely flexible, mobile in possession and very disciplined. Wide center back on defend duty on the right side, this will help to escape the opposition pressure by offering a wide passing option. Take fewer risks for him. A libero support in the middle, this is the free player in defense. He's the one screening the defense and the last man standing in front of goal. Dribble less and hold position. Central defender on defend duty on the left side, no instructions for him. Helenio Herrera asks his defenders to mark the opposing attackers. And this is what we are going to do on a game-by-game basis. The libero has no marking instructions. In front of them, we have a defensive midfielder on defend duty. He is the screen in front of the defense, no instructions for him. On the left side, we have a complete wingback on attack duty. He will march on the left side defending attacks and creating chances for his team. No instructions for him. On the right side, we have the same scenario of the player marching the whole flank. Here, Denzel Dumfries or Achraf Hakimi would be the best players to use. Defensive winger or support is used as variety. The player will take on the opposing player early and will go up in attack when his team is in possession. A roaming playmaker on support links the defense to the attack. This player is the engine of the team. If he fails to perform, the whole tactic crumbles. No instructions for him and no pressure either. A shadow striker and a trequartista are behind the striker. The trequartista is used as it is a more free-spirited role. This player will go wider, cut inside, go into the opposition's box. All depends on the scenario he's faced with. Stay wider for him. And the striker is an advanced forward on attack duty. The player used here must be a goal scorer. As your team will have few scoring opportunities using this tactic, he must score most of them. As mentality, we have defensive, of course. In possession, fairly narrow, play out of the defense, slightly more direct, higher tempo and frequently waste time. Play for set pieces and be more disciplined. Helenio Herrera had a principle for his attack. No more than 3 passes until his team reached the opposition's goal. This is what we try to recreate. A high-paced, direct and lethal attack. You could go with a more direct passing, however, I have tried it, and the players seem to send too many balls over the top to the attack. Slightly more direct seems to be more balanced. In transition, regroup, play on counter, slow pace down and distribute to the defense. Out of possession, mid-block and much higher defensive line. I can see your amazed expression. Yes, much higher defensive line as we want to make a compact midfield shape hard to break through. You could go lower, however, this will give the opponent more space to work with in their build-up. By playing with a mid-block and high defensive line, we force them to go over our defense most of the times. This is why I said that positioning is very important. If the players take on the best defensive positions, the tactic will not suffer. Trigger press less often and get stuck in. To play a defensive tactic doesn't mean having as many players as you can in your own half, playing a low block with much lower defensive line, or even playing on very defensive or defensive mentality. As Elenio Herrera said, everyone understood his Catenaccio tactic wrong. He emphasized a lot the attacking part of his tactic. To make a defensive tactic work, you must be sure that when you have the ball, you are dangerous and score most of your chances. The tactic worked very well for me. Not as well as the last one, but it made us overachievers again. But I would like to know how it worked for you. Did you do better than me? Let's unlock the next one.